morning. We needed a different little intro this morning. I say I got no sleep. I got no sleep this morning. I was just listening to one of the jazz music videos on YouTube. Simple, free, and very chill to listen to. So before we jump into today's message, Tulsa, Oklahoma actually got hit crazy weather last night, early this morning. So I was literally laying in my bed, looking out the window, just watching the lightning. Like it was like a lightning show. So yeah, didn't really get much sleep, but I hope you did. And it's Friday. We made it to Friday. Mm, mm. Okay, it's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Welcome to Friday's episode of Morning Inspiration with Friends. I am your friend Tanisha Shanae, and super excited to be here with you today. Today's message is it's taking us a little bit away from our full purpose for this particular month, especially for this week, speaking about our finances, using our gifts and our talents. And I saw two things, but the second one that I saw last night put it in the nail in the coffin. Like, we're going to talk about this today. So, I follow a young man named Lavelle on TikTok, and then I saw a story of a young lady, 21 years old, content creator who I don't know what kind of content she has on social media, but she creates content and she's 21, and she recently shared that she purchased a house, and her fans went crazy. Now, I don't believe that this is the house that she purchased. I read the story just to try to get full context. Her father purchased the house for her, and her fans are upset with her. Had this girl online crying, apologizing about her success, because I think that's when she said her father was the one that purchased the house for her. And again, she's online apologizing for her success, for the fact that she wakes up every single day and create whatever kind of content that her audience enjoys and that they love. And yet, for some reason, they are like, oh no, how dare you buy a house at this age, when there are people out here, like I was literally reading like there are people out here who are homeless, who don't have enough money to buy their groceries, and you want to show off that you have a house. And then Lavelle is a content creator on TikTok. That's where I follow him. Lavelle does a lot of brands influencing. So he stopped going to Whole Foods, and I think like now he's at Sprouts, and he'll show the way that he makes his meals. And now things are shifting. He has a partner, and now they're looking to moving together and get an apartment. And he's out in LA, so LA already starts at a very unique number, like New York does. And now their budget is like $8,000 to $10,000. And again, people are tearing them up in the comments. And I'm just like, why are we apologizing for the blessings that we have? Right? He's up here like, okay, maybe I shouldn't share because I don't want people to feel some type of way. I don't want to seem like I'm not relatable, because that was what they were saying about him. Oh, Lavelle, you're not relatable anymore. He's not relatable because he had a big dream. He continued to go after them. He knocked on doors that other people are afraid to knock on, and they answered. And then he was able to negotiate. And I mean, again, I'm learning a lot from a lot of people just researching about these brand deals. Like, there are some people out here who are getting $10,000 checks for 2 pieces of content, like 2 videos, and that's it. 10,000. $15,000. Like, those are real numbers that companies are paying these content creators, and people are really being upset. So it made me like, no, we gotta stop. We have to stop. Because y'all know how I got started with coming live every morning in 2025, because I realized that I was not living and thriving fully as Miss Inspiration. I was not going out there being who I was because other people were intimidated by that and other people were feeling some type of way. And I understand how that young lady feels, because I too purchased my first home when I was 22 years old. And a lot of people did not like that. And that's not my fault. It's not our fault that things have been lined up for us. And you know what? Social media was, I wasn't on social media. Good morning, Paula. Happy Friday to you. Um, I wasn't on social media. I didn't join Facebook until like a year after. That's like my first real boyfriend out of college. We got together and like we had our Facebook debut. But that was me. Like I was that young lady. And so I think this is what really bothered me, because so often this is the reason why people don't share their accomplishments, because other people are going to look at that and try to frown upon it like, oh, well, you shouldn't, why would you have that level of success? So the first thing I'm gonna tell you is that your success is not something that you even have to justify. You don't have to justify, you don't have to help anyone to understand why this has happened to you, why it has happened for you, because it's like, look, I did the work, right? Again, content creation is not an easy job. And so I give my hats off to the people that are out here, like I said, knocking on doors to these brands and saying, hey, I will do a piece of content for you, a 1 minute, 2 minute video. Oh, I'll take a couple of pictures and you pay me. And these people are getting paid. The same way we wake up and we decide that we're going to apply for a job and we put our name in the hat, and however those cookies crumbles, we end up with the results. So we cannot make other people, and you cannot allow other people, especially the people that are not doing the work. It's just not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. You don't have to justify that, right? You don't owe anyone a breakdown. You don't owe them any type of clarity and understanding. Well, how did this happen? You know how many years people did not know? Well, how did you buy a house when you how did you buy property when you were 22? Like, how is that even possible? And it's just like, because there are other means, there are other ways. There's more than one way to do something. And once we start realizing that, this is the problem that we have, especially I feel like it's mostly in America. In America, we feel as though everything has to be one way. If it's not that way, then you are a scammer, you're fake, or you're out here, doing OnlyFans and stuff like that. And that's not the reality. So you don't have to owe, you don't owe anyone any ways. You don't have to owe and explain to them, well, why does God do things for you and not for me? Like, I've heard those things before. Look, when you got to sit here and get on your knees sometimes and pray to God and just talk to him, and you war for the things that have happened in your life, trust me, you start to understand. You don't have to justify any of this, right? And you can literally just say, look, God did it for me. And you can literally just walk on and go about your life. And if they're not justified, if they're not satisfied with that answer, I always say it's time for you now to have a conversation with God. Because if you're worried, I don't worry about how did you get this, and oh my gosh. Now, unless I want to learn something, absolutely I'm going to ask questions. But to sit around and be jealous of someone who's literally out here busting their butt and doing the work that I have not done, absolutely not. We're not going to do that, right? We're not going to do that. The other thing is about it is that, I think the dangerous part about content creation is that you want to learn. I mean, you want to share with your audience, but you still want to remain humble, right? And I do believe that a lot of people can remain humble and still be proud, right? You can share these moments, but you also, I think, no matter what, we have to go in understanding everyone is not going to be happy about this. Someone is going to feel as though that you're boasting. Someone's going to feel like you're bragging. Someone is going to always feel some type of way, even if that is not your intent. You could be the most humble person, say in the most humble way, and then someone is going to have something to say. So I just want you to be grateful for what God has done. Right. And when especially if God, I'm not sharing this to brag. A lot of times people are just sharing to inspire people, because so many of us do not have these examples. Like I told a young lady yesterday, I went to now I'm in Tulsa Remote. So yesterday Tulsa Remote had the hosted visit dinner that they have every time they have their hosted visit. So as an ambassador, I went and we was just talking, and I'm telling my journey. And this young lady was like, "Oh my gosh," like, and she started telling me one of her stories, and I was just like, "Wow, I needed to hear that." Like, we got to get into this habit of sharing, the things that we have gone through and how we overcame it and the success that came from that. And she was like, "I've never thought about it. I always felt like I had to hold it in. I didn't." I said, "No." I said, someone out there is going to be inspired because someone out there has never met a you. They never met the likes of you. They never met anyone that's doing what you're doing. And so if you don't share, they're going to continue to go and navigate through life thinking no one is doing this. This is not possible. So this is why we do need one another. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, like, you just got to find your people. This is why I love social media, because you can go on social media and you can, if you want to do van life, guess what? There's nothing but van life content. You have people that can tell you the pros, the cons, the good and the bad. Okay, they can tell you from the little vans from 1980 that they have remodeled to the brand new Sprinters of 2025 that they have purchased right off the lot and they are hitting the roads. It's a story for everyone. Pick the one that works for you, and you continue to be inspired by that. But don't get inspired and then be jealous because now this person is doing something. Oh, wow, well, that's not fair. What? Sometimes I just have to really be, what? So please make sure that you're out here sharing because someone needs it, and you are not literally. I'm promising you, you're not bragging, right? You're not bragging. You're really just trying to inspire other people. Now, the last thing I want to share is that you are allowed to grow beyond other people's comfort zones. You are allowed to grow beyond other people's comfort zone. And I think that's what's happening with these content creators that I mentioned before, right? Lavelle, I think about Lavelle primarily because Lavelle shared his journey from the beginning, struggling to move to LA. I forgot which country, what city he's from, but he moved to LA. Moving to LA is a huge struggle in itself, right? Between you're dealing with the housing market, and then trying to find your way. So I think he is trying to break into acting. So I think that's why he ultimately went to LA. But that right there is a struggle. And I think, content creation just kind of made a way for him. But he struggled with certain things. He grew in front of his audience. Right? So his audience put him in this box, and I don't have a box, but his audience put him in this box from the beginning. And it's like they felt you got to stay in this box. And if you watch any history, right? Don't even if you don't watch it today, if you watch reality TV, look at all them people. Think about when Love and Hip Hop, when Real Housewives of Atlanta, when they first started, and look at them now. Do they look the same? They don't. They don't. I'm going to tell you that they don't. Everyone has grown. Some people have even moved to new cities. They're not even in the original franchise because they're like, look, this is not for me. I need to go here because this is where I'm going to thrive. And so some people just like you better when they saw you in that struggle mode, in that I'm trying to come up mode. They like you in that. And then they don't want to see that success. So for Lavelle to be like, me and my partner, our budget is $10,000 a month, and they can live in one of those high rises. His audience could not handle that because the struggle story is where they can relate. And that is one of the dangers of social media because they can see you in this current state because they relate to that, right? That might be their story. They may be living paycheck to paycheck. They might be facing eviction. And so because they're still in that and you are growing, you are evolving, you are changing your story, and now you're at the next level, they can't relate to that. And this is when we start hearing people say, oh, you're not relatable anymore. No, my success is still very relatable. You just got to get into the action mode for you. right? We can't just sit and take these phones and just consume all of this content and just keep consuming it, and you're just consuming it and you're not making no changes, right? I think about Nikki. This is Nikki. She's Eric Thomas social media manager, and she always talks about that, like how people will sit on her lives. They join her groups. She has I think it's called like the Lions something. But she has her own community, and she has even said like there are some people that she knows just pays and they consume it, but they don't take action. And that's a lot of people. I feel as though that is actually the reality for most teachers, right? I've had students, they have gone to school, got all this knowledge, all this education, graduated with a certificate or a degree, and never stepped foot doing anything in that particular field ever. They just got all this information. That was it, right? So they can say that they completed something, but then it's like, well, where's the action behind it? And so when they see their peers are now going on, like I had one of my first full time positions was teaching at a medical assistant program. I've had students who have gone and become medical assistants, and they're still medical assistants. I've had students. I actually have two students that have gone and become nurses. One is a nurse practitioner. She reached out to me, and another one I ran into in Cabo last 2 years. Dad, when did I go to Cabo? And last year I turned 40 last year. Last year I ran into one student on an excursion in Cabo, and she also went and became a nurse. Right? They didn't stop. And then I've had some students I still see. They work at Walmart, and that's what they're happy. I'm happy for them. But again, they will be the ones that look like she thinks she's better than someone. No, I don't think so. They didn't. They just kept doing the work, and they kept evolving. You also could have did the same thing. Again, these are choices that we have to make, right? So if we want ownership of our success, we have to be the ones that have to be confident about that. And what we have to just understand is everyone, they might really enjoy you, they might really like you, but they want you to stay where it's comfortable with them, where they can see you eye to eye. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the reality. And I think that's something that, as content creators, people that have gone through the from nothing to everything that you can absolutely imagine and dream of, some people have to learn how to handle that, because that is actually one of the reasons why so many people do end up stopping, because they read those comments, right? I think that there is a positive to reading comments, but I think that it is a detriment to us reading too much and consuming. Because if you're reading and everything is negative, don't even bother. Pay somebody to do it for you, right? Especially if you get in brand deals for $10,000, $15,000, yeah, find somebody on Fiverr and assign them to be your moderator and allow them to go through that, and you don't have to even worry about that. Right. And that person can kind of filter through. You can actually set up now on most social medias. I know that YouTube, you can set up filter so that people can't use certain words. So those comments will automatically get hidden, or they will not be allowed to comment those comments because the platform will automatically delete them. You got to protect your own peace. And I just want you to find that level of balance, right? Your success is amazing. Don't let anyone make you apologize for anything that you have worked your behind off, or even the things that God just blessed you that you just never even asked for, right? That's what we have to just get into that, right? I'm tired of seeing these content creators get on here and crying and apologizing for the work that they've done, because the audience that sit and watch them is not doing the work in their own life for whatever path that they're supposed to be on. Because we all have purpose, and there's more people out here not operating in purpose than there are people who are operating in purpose. And those people that are not, you're trying to tear down the people that's out here willing to do that hard work, that's willing to say that hard yes. And I'm here to tell you, cut it out. God is not pleased about that. You're not doing anything. You're not stopping them. You're not going to stop them, because God's going to continue to send people like me to pour into them, because you thought that you thought that your negativity was going to stop them. It's not. It's not. Lavelle's still going to get that $10,000 a month apartment, and that young lady is still enjoying her amazing, beautiful house at 21 years old. You can't stop it. But you know what you can do? You can pray and you can ask God to bless you and to wow you and to blow your own mind. You can do that because I do it all the time. God, wow me today. Wow me today. Lord, I'm praying for everybody that's watching this. Wow them today on this Friday, June 6th. Wow them, especially the people that don't believe. Answer a prayer that they have been secretly praying for, God, and that they are afraid to open up their mouth. Just bless them. I pray that for them because I need people to believe it's possible so that we can stop tearing each other down, right? Because you're trying to stop God's work, and we can't have that. I understand a lot of content people don't understand. Oh, they're only showing videos on how to make meals and they're only showing how to go food shopping and how to save money. But guess what? You might have look, you know how many times I have come across a Lavelle video and he's in Sprouts. I have a Sprouts now. I live in Oklahoma and we have Sprouts. And I have literally been like, yeah, I need to go to Sprouts, right? And it confirmed it. Yes, last night, one of my friends, she had to drive me home because my car is in the shop, and she was showing me her watermelon. She got this huge watermelon, like this wide, like this long rather, and she said she paid $8.99. Once I get my car, we're going to Sprouts. I'm gonna go get me a watermelon, and she juiced her watermelon. And I'm like, dang. But I remember just seeing all these like little tips and gems that Lavelle shared. Right. And now I'm gonna find that young lady's content and figure out what she does and support her. Like, let's pour into the people that's really out here just doing things and they're growing and they're thriving. And that's all that I can ask. So I'm gonna leave y'all with a prompt because as always, y'all know I want y'all to have these conversations with God. And if this message is, if you don't feel like this is for me, share this with somebody, right? Someone out there that you know is apologizing for the things that God has blessed them with. Mm-mm. So if you know that person, if you are that person, if you have ever done it, because we have all probably done it one time in our lives, where have I been apologizing for the very thing I once prayed for? Where in your life? Where have you been apologizing? I used to apologize for being smart. I used to apologize for um setting goals. Like I'm a perfectionist naturally, right? And I'm a very goal oriented person. When I was very young, I wanted to finish high school at 15 since I was in daycare. I'm not lying to you. My mother didn't tell. I remember that. I remember telling my mother that I wanted to be like Dr. King and finish high school at 15 because he finished high school at 15. He was my role model when I was growing up. And people are like, that's why I always say, don't compare yourself to some people like me, you don't want to compare yourself to because we have had probably the most insane goals from a very young age. So we're not competing with anyone but ourselves. So you will really hurt yourself competing with people because these people out here being crazy. Like I'm like, no, I want to finish high school at this age. I want to do this. And I mean, I had a long, extensive list of accomplishments that I was hoping to accomplish. And I've accomplished a lot of those. And then when I got with God, and that's like I got my relationship with God, and I started to understand what He wanted from my life. And then now we started to set those goals. I've even accomplished some of those. Like, so it's possible. So I just really want to share that. Like I said, it really just I'm out here talking about people making more money, and then people out here making more money, and then they're getting crucified for it. Oh no, we gotta talk about this because this is the other side of it, right? Biggie had a song: the more money you get, the more problems you get, and the problems is not like problems of not being able to pay your bills. The problems come from the people, the jealous people, the people who, again, who are not doing the work that you are putting in. Look, y'all know how I get passionate. I'm sorry. It's Friday. We here every Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. Again, next week I'm taking a week. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a vacation. I am learning. I'm learning this from other content creators, right? This is Nikki repurposing your content, taking a break. So I'm making sure that I don't have burnout. So next week it will not be lives, but next week I got some good replays for you. I guarantee you it's going to be good. So especially if you just started following, you want to be here for next week. Although I won't be here physically with you at 7 a.m. I will definitely try to be in the comments on YouTube. So just look for me in the comments. I will still wake up out of my sleep to comment. But yeah, so we will definitely be here next week. And then I will see you the following week. So what day is that? Let me make sure I have my days correct. So I will not be live 9 to June 9th to June 13th, but I'll be back June 16th live. Okay, but I will still be live. I know it's confusing. Just know that next week's messages are going to be all replays. But if you want to get in contact with your girls, please make sure that you go to my link tree to check out my books, my community, my courses, and even my blog. And I am excited. So I hope that you enjoy your weekend. If you're in the Oklahoma area, please stay dry. We are going to have a wet day and a wet weekend, but I'm praying that it will start to clear up because we have some exciting events happening this weekend. And Jelly Bean comes home from school tomorrow. Yeah, I know I'm excited. He's coming home. So look out for that content too. And yeah, I will definitely speak to everyone the week after. And I hope that you have a great week. And still tap in on Monday to Friday next week. And like I said, I will be here with you in the chats. So have a great one. Be well, be blessed. I love you. God loves you. And let's just continue to go out here and do great things on purpose with purpose.